A generation ago, it was Tylenol. More recently, it's been Toyota's turn. Both names were associated with quality, reliability, and innovation. But whether deserved or not, just a few years ago, Toyota was faced with the reality that consumers were suddenly thinking about them. Will my accelerator stick next? Though yours may not be so public, most of us will one day come face to face with a trust crisis. You'll get one chance to do it right and maybe a million chances to do it wrong, but doing it right is so worth the effort. What is a trust crisis? Whether an international auto manufacturer, a government official, a small business owner, a church leader, or a marriage partner, everyone is trying to get someone to trust them. You might call this your trust audience. As any good trust audience will tell you, trust takes a long time to build and only a moment to lose. A trust crisis erupts when you disappoint your trust audience's highly valued expectations of you. A consumer expects to drive a safe car. A citizen expects an honest and selfless stewardship of a political office. A church member expects exemplary behavior from her leaders. A spouse expects loyal love from his partner. Interestingly, how you handle your trust crisis will in large part determine how great the damage is. You can multiply your loss or divide its impact, and in some rare cases, you can even emerge with an enlarged trust account. If your trust crisis is the result of your willful actions, in other words, you did it on purpose, you have only one path to restoration. Immediately admit your screw-up, take full responsibility for it, make no excuses, and begin to make it right no matter how long it takes. Don't make a mistake about it. This is hard, really hard. And the part about making it right, no matter how long it takes, may have its practical limits. You're not going to do this unless you really want to restore the lost trust. But if you decide the restoration of trust is important to you, I'm afraid this is your only pathway if you did it on purpose. But suppose you didn't do it on purpose. It may have been a mistake, a negligence, an arrogance, or some other personal or character flaw that resulted in this breach of trust, but you never intended to do the thing. If you have a marital affair or stole money, you can't claim this one. But if you made a car with a faulty part, or messed up on a customer order, or just failed to save enough for taxes, this is you. So what do? First, forget a cover-up. Deliver the full set of facts to your trust audience. Tell your version of how this happened, and if you know where you went wrong, tell them. If you don't, promise that you're working full-time to find out what happened. But turn the spotlight on. Full disclosure. Second, begin a cleanup. You screwed up. Own it. Make it right. In order to restore trust, your trust audience is going to have to be convinced that you've done everything in your power to clean up the mess that you've made. The good news is that most folks will have a pretty fair assessment of what you can and can't reasonably be expected to clean up. If you'll give it your best effort, most people will meet you halfway. For instance, if you're late paying your taxes, work with your CPA to contact the IRS and work out a payment plan for the taxes that you owe. You may be surprised with how far they'll go to work with you. Third, promise a checkup. Dance partners with sore toes rarely want to dance with you again until you've had some lessons. What are you doing to make sure that you don't mess up in this area again? In our tax example, that would mean working with your CPA to set up a special tax account to save for next year's taxes. Nothing I'm recommending here is going to be easy, but you have no asset so valuable as trust. When your turn comes and you're faced with a trust crisis, pay the price to get it back. Offering you wisdom on wealth, I'm Byron Moore.